What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel on this Sunday morning. It's November 26th, 2017, and this is the number one fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. This is Off the Script, episode 197, part number 3. To close your weekend out, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me on part 3 of Off the Script this morning. We got a lot to go over, man. We're going to talk about Batista and his potential return to the WWE. This is a major talking point this weekend as he was on Jim Ross's podcast, and he let some secrets out that he would love to come back to the WWE, but he does not like the current state of the WWE product. And who can blame him for thinking that way? So we're going to talk about that today. Also, AJ Styles' contract is being discussed this weekend as well. How much longer does he have on his contract? And when does AJ Styles want to retire from in-ring competition? We're going to go over all that today right here on Off the Script. I want to make mention of something that happened that came to my attention this morning. I upload when I can, because I've been very busy lately. I upload when I can to Patreon and give early access to Off the Script to people who are pledging. No matter the amount that you're getting, or that I'm getting from you, you guys are going to be getting Off the Script early. No matter if it's $1 all the way up to the $100 patrons. It doesn't matter. When I have the opportunity to do that, I usually do it 8 to 10 hours before it goes live, before I hit public on YouTube for everybody. It is meant to give those people a perk. It is meant to give those people overseas who it might be too late to watch Off the Script an early shot at watching Off the Script. It might give those people who can't sit in the morning to listen to me ramble about WWE for an hour and a half. It gives those people opportunities at night when they're working their night shifts to listen and watch me early so that they can sleep through the morning and get their rest. Or it's just for the people who want that additional perk and enjoy the show so much that you want to see it early before everybody else. You want to leave a like before everybody else. You want to leave a comment before everybody else. I haven't done a good job with the Patreon page. I got Off the Script Retro that I've kind of neglected. Mario Kart filters through when I can. The reason why is because I'm putting too much pressure on myself to get content out to you guys. The channel, what you see here, is the most important thing that you guys get. You get quality, you get me at my best, and you get the show that you want each and every week. Plus you get Raw, SmackDown, NXT coverage that you're not going to get anywhere else. Nobody else is covering NXT. Nobody covers Raw and SmackDown like I do each and every week. I'm a solo man, a solo act doing this shit. I don't rely on co-hosts. I don't rely on donations. I don't rely on any of that shit. I cover the show. I get out what I need to get out. And you guys are pleased with 1 hour videos each and every show. It's very difficult for me to get extra content out there. I'm overwhelming myself with content. I need to come up with a steady schedule for the Patreon page. But the one thing that we have over everybody else that's got a Patreon, if I don't get the extra content out on time, or if I don't do this or I don't do that, you guys can always rely on me getting you daily uploads. Some weeks I take a day off for myself and I don't upload on a Thursday or a Wednesday because I'm fucking exhausted. I'm tired. I understand that I have to do a little bit better with that stuff. But the thing with the Patreon page is the core people who want to support me on that platform, the core people who want to support me via the Patreon page, they do it not for the extra content. They don't do it for the extra content. The extra content is a bonus. It's a perk. They do it because they know that when they come to this channel, they're proud to be a member, a fan, a subscriber of this channel and what I do here. They're proud of the content that they get every day, so much that they're dipping into their wallets and they're supporting me via Patreon because they appreciate the quality of content they are getting. I work my ass to the bone on YouTube. I do this day in and day out. I don't work retail anymore. I don't. I took a chance on myself to run a business from home. I took a chance on myself to make a brand at home. And that's exactly what YouTube is. And if you don't understand that, you're an immature fucking idiot. Patreon is not used to pledge to somebody, go talk trash on another channel about me, and then come over here and try and be my friend. Or come over here and try and be a subscriber or a Patreon. It's not meant for you to go somewhere else, talk shit about me, and then act all two-faced when you're on my Patreon page or in my Discord or in my comment section. I don't want those people on my Patreon. I don't want those people on my channel. I don't give a shit how much money you've given me. I don't give a shit how much money you pledged. I don't give a shit how much money you want to pledge. $1, 50 cents, I don't care. I don't want you associated with this channel. If your intention is that, or like I seen this morning, if your intention is to be a Patreon, get early access to Off the Script, and then I wake up and I see close to 70 dislikes on a Patreon only early access Off the Script video, I don't want you here. That's not what it's used for. If you want to be an immature fucking idiot, if you want to be a low-life degenerate who's got nothing else better to do, then pledge your own money. Thank you, by the way. Simply to share the video that's unlisted 10 hours before it goes live to everybody, only to dislike it. I don't want you here. I don't want you here. I don't want your Patreon. I don't want your like, your comment, your view, your subscribe, your Twitter follow. I don't want none of that. Disassociate yourself from me. I only want real people here. I want real fans. I work my ass to the fucking bone. You think it's easy sitting in this fucking chair, in front of this microphone, in front of this camera, hours and hours and hours at a time, each and every week, to come up with unscripted thoughts and opinions on WWE? I don't read off a script. The only thing I read off of is the results on Monday and Tuesday. I take notes every fucking pay-per-view to give you guys genuine reactions and reviews. I take news stories from the week and I word them myself. I sit here every morning with a cup of coffee and I take notes on what I'm going to be talking about each and every week. Yesterday, I worked on Off the Script for 5 hours. 5 hours. I recorded part 1 and part 2 yesterday. Recording, editing, rendering, uploading, tagging, titling, thumbnailing. You think it's fucking easy? You think it's easy? Neglecting my family, neglecting this one and that one, not getting out, not eating right, neglecting meals during the day, only to have my fucking video yesterday be unmonetized because of a fucking thumbnail of Finn Balor. Then you want to take my video and share it only to dislike it. Fuck out of here, man. YouTube is not a place to fuck around. YouTube is not a place to take lightly. This is not easy. Nobody doing this has it easy. This is just as much a job as your job working 9 to 5 or wherever you guys are working, if you're working. The ups and the downs, the roller coaster ride that is day-to-day YouTube activity. Gotta sit on here and take bullshit from everybody, wishing cancer on your family, demoralizing comments about a poor fucking innocent cat or a pet dog. So not only do you have to deal with the bullshit, you gotta have a fucking thick skin. That's why I just bench people. If you are not a part of what I do here, if you are not a part of my family on this journey to 100,000 subscribers, I don't want you here. I don't want you here. I want you to get the fuck out. I really don't want anything to do with you. That irked the shit out of me. It's not what it's used for. It's used to show appreciation to a guy, a content creator that you genuinely like watching each and every weekend. Do you know how many people come to me and tell me, JD, I don't even watch the fucking shows anymore. I just live WWE vicariously through you. I found out everything about WWE Raw and SmackDown through your reviews. I use you as my outlet to keep up to date. JD, I'm going through a very difficult time. Off the script has made me forget about everything that's bothering me in real life, in my personal life, for a good 2 or 3 hours every weekend. If you want to take away the fucking early access to those people, then you're a fucking jerk off. Get the fuck out. I don't want your money. I don't want your pledge. I don't want your subscription. I don't want anything to do with you. While you're over here playing fucking games and trolling and having no life, doing things to other successful people on the internet, I'm going to be getting even further in 2018. You think it stops with Off the Script on YouTube and on iTunes? You think my ultimate fucking goal is to live on YouTube for the rest of my life? No, I'm taking this show to the fucking heights I know it could be. I'm taking the unbelievable fucking opportunity I have in House of Glory, not only to make a name for myself through this show, but a name for myself in the business. You don't think I want to be on a higher level? You don't think my ultimate goal is to be better each and every fucking time I go out there and do commentary? To commentate for bigger and better promotions and bigger matches? If you ain't with me on this journey, get the fuck out. I'm sorry to take the core audience's time, but I had to get that off my chest. Bullshit. Continue playing fucking games. It just shows everyone how irrelevant you really are. Let's get into what I want to talk about, man. There's a few things I want to talk about before we get into the news of the day. First of all, I want to shout out these fine people over on my Patreon page. Wayne, JD Venom, Maxwell Fairchild, Maddie Cooper, Jacob Shockley, Jess, Joey Goons, Tom, Josh Creighton, Adam, Liz, and Hater-Free JJ. These are my Patreons for the shout out this Sunday. These are the core people that actually fucking appreciate what I do. Thank you guys so much for believing in me and giving me an outlet for this podcast. And thank you for being with me here on this journey. I owe you guys everything. And I love that I actually have fucking genuine people like this who want to support me via the Patreon page. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to be a part of the Patreon family, if you guys want to show appreciation to what I do here, and you really want to just be a part of a close-knit, respectable fucking group of people, you guys can always visit the Patreon page, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Thank you guys so much. We have the Wrestling Radio Awards for 2018 back up and running. If you guys remember this from last year, WrestlingRadioAwards.com is the website. Last year, we won Best New Show of the Year. Off the Script with JD from NY won Best New Show of the Year. I want everybody listening to this show, and I'm going to be continuing on about this throughout the weeks. I want you guys to take Off the Script being Best New Show of the Year to Show of the Year on Wrestling Radio Awards for the 2018 show. That's what I want you guys to do. You want to show some appreciation? You want to show me that you're a part of this fucking family on Off the Script? Then you're going to go to WrestlingRadioAwards.com and go to Show of the Year that you see there. And you're going to type in Off the Script with JD from NY. That's what you're going to do. There's going to be stiff competition. Solomonster sounds off. Wrestling Reality with Justin LeBar. Not to mention all the big dogs in the podcast world. The Austins, the Jerichos, the Jim Rosses, the Bruce Pritchards, the Tazes. You guys are going to vote for Show of the Year, Off the Script with JD from NY. That's what I want you guys to do. I would absolutely appreciate your time to go there and put us down for Show of the Year. Thank you guys so much, man. Pro Wrestling Tees still has their show, their shop sale, Black Friday sale, going all the way through Cyber Monday. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. This ends on Monday, 11/27 at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. 30% off everything. Code Black Friday at checkout. You guys have come out big time and bought your shirts. We got these available right now. Get Off My TV 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Hit List. Version 2.5. Goon City. JD is Negan. And Off the Script. I might be coming out with a new Negan design next year. Something similar to this, but the front. Maybe a cartoon caricature of me holding Lucille with an Off the Script t-shirt. I don't know. We got the backside of Negan. Maybe next year you'll see the front side of Negan. So if you guys want any of these shirts, they are on sale, 30% off. We got 2 new shirts. The official Benched t-shirt. Eat, Sleep, Bench, Repeat. It's a take on Brock Lesnar's Eat, Sleep, Conquer, Repeat t-shirt. Official merchandise of Off the Script there. Big seller this holiday season. Also, the Jinder Mahal Get Off My TV design. I might be redoing this design. I had a couple of people come to me with some legitimate concerns. JD, this might be discriminatory, or JD, this might be racist. So be it. So be it. I might be altering it to showcase that it is a wrestling podcast. So I might be making some slight changes to this shirt. But if you guys want to get this shirt, you guys know it's Jinder Mahal. Get Off My TV. I love that design, actually. I think it's fantastic. So if you guys want that, barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. 30% off, code Black Friday. Make sure you guys go and do that for me. Great way to support the show right here on Off the Script. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. We're going to get into the news right now, man. We got social media segment coming up at the end of the show. As always, thank you guys for your participation in this week's social media segment. Friday, Saturday, and today we're going to close with your questions on Sunday's edition of Off the Script. We're going to start this show off with news on Finn Balor yet again. Friday, we talked about Vince McMahon not wanting Finn Balor in the main event of the Royal Rumble against Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. If you guys go back and watch Friday's show, you will see Finn Balor tweet several little innuendos that he is over with the WWE Universe and that he knows and hears the rumors that Vince McMahon thinks that he is not over enough with the audience to challenge Brock Lesnar for the WWE Universal Championship. Now, for those saying that I am hypocritical about that specific topic, you are dead wrong because you clearly are not listening to the words that are out of my mouth. Do I agree with the Finn Balor-Brock Lesnar match? No. But there is no other WWE superstar on Monday Night Raw that you could put in front of Finn Balor right now that you would legitimately want to see a match with. You can't do Joe. You can't do Strowman. Nobody wants to see Cena. Nobody is going to really think Rollins has a shot right now, being that he's mixed in with the Tag Team Championship. There is nobody else. If Balor is not over in the mind of Vince McMahon, it is his own fault. Do I want to see that match? Not really. Not really. The only thing that I agree with is that I don't think Balor is legit enough for a match with Brock Lesnar. If the report said Vince McMahon doesn't think Finn Balor is legit enough for a match with Brock Lesnar, then I would believe it. Because I don't think he's legit enough. Do I think he's over enough? Absolutely. Absolutely. The Balor Club stuff has got to be some of the best-selling stuff in WWE right now. I would make a bet to say that it's ahead of Roman Reigns. So, we got news on this today because Finn Balor is at it again on social media. Look at this. WWE had a poll on their official website. Who do you want to see Brock Lesnar fight next? Or who do you want to see challenge Brock Lesnar next for the Universal Championship? Balor tweeted it out. And he put a little winky emoji face. 41% of the people who took a part in this poll said they want to see Finn Balor against Brock Lesnar. 10% Triple H. Seth Rollins 3%. The big dog, Roman Reigns, comes in at 8%. Triple H, a non-active, semi-retired wrestler, is ahead of Roman Reigns. Bray Wyatt, who's been buried beyond belief, comes in at 3% less than Roman Reigns. So, Balor's not over. Balor's not over, right? But Roman Reigns is over. Roman Reigns is over with the WWE fans. So much that, alongside Finn Balor, he got destroyed in this poll. Roman Reigns is over, right? Let me see you guys tell me Roman Reigns is over come Philadelphia and the Royal Rumble. Let me see you guys tell me Roman Reigns is over come the Elimination Chamber. Let me see you guys tell me Roman Reigns is over when he wins the fucking Universal title in front of 80,000 people at the Superdome in New Orleans. He ain't over. And if he's over, it's for the wrong reasons. Jinder Mahal was over too, right? Those are probably the same people that are fucking Jinder fans. Jinder was over. Chance of you can't wrestle. Yeah, he's really over. If he was over legitimately, people would boo him legitimately. For his character. They wouldn't boo him in a way that says, please go away. I don't want to see you anymore. Finn Balor's got 41% of the votes on this poll. How long does it take WWE to take that fucking poll down? I give it till Sunday. I give it till today. So, I don't know what's going on with that rumor, but I read something else via Solomonster's Facebook page. People posted something that was reported by the Dirty Sheets. Now, this is Bill Body, that fucking idiot, that womanizing loser who had very disparaging and discrediting comments towards the likes of Nia Jax and Ember Moon and a lot of the females, pretty much stating that nobody wants to see females wrestling in WWE, just shake your ass. He's like pretty much a mini Ryback 2.0 with his comments. The Dirty Sheets reported that Dave Meltzer fabricated the entire story about Finn Balor not being over with the WWE. Or fabricated the entire story saying that Finn Balor was deemed not over and bland by Vince McMahon. Bill Body in the Dirty Sheets podcast, newsletter, whatever the fuck they are, said that Dave Meltzer made up the entire story. Then he goes on in that same report to say that he is 95% accurate on all stories that he reported on this year. And that Dave Meltzer is a shell of his former self. That people in WWE hate Dave Meltzer. They're feeding him false information. That Dave Meltzer's a hack. The entire article was, yeah, Meltzer fabricated and made up the entire story, but here are my accomplishments for 2017. It didn't come off as a news article. It came off as a way to slander Dave Meltzer and say that he is not worth your time anymore. Come listen to us. So I don't know if you guys heard or read that story, but I don't know who to believe. I report the topics of discussion here on this show. Whether they're true or not, I don't give a shit. It's my opinion that is the most valid on this show. The news articles I read, who cares? You guys come here for my opinion. And you guys come here to discuss whether it's true or not, whether you like it or not. I'm not an official news outlet. I try and get you the most factual news. But more times than not, everything you read on the internet is just that, a rumor. So that was that story. But the story that WWE polled its fans suggests that Vince McMahon, if that story is true, is wrong about Finn Balor. So McMahon apparently changed his mind on the rumored Royal Rumble main event, Universal Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Finn Balor. And dating back to the Extreme Rules Fatal 5-Way, there were rumors about Brock Lesnar running through all those guys. Slowly but surely until he gets to Roman Reigns. Finn Balor has yet to cross paths with Brock Lesnar. He's yet to receive a Universal Championship, period, since relinquishing it due to his shoulder injury. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns. We know Reigns is being saved for Mania. Rollins hasn't had an opportunity, nor will he. Balor didn't get one. Joe got one. Wyatt doesn't deserve one. But it's all leading to Reigns going into WrestleMania 34. Samoa Joe has been the only person to have a singles match with Lesnar out of that bunch right now. And the other names went on to engage in other feuds. Balor has been name dropped by Paul Heyman. Balor even was mentioned by Paul Heyman on the promo that Paul Heyman cut against AJ Styles. Saying that Styles and Balor gotta fight it out to see who the best in the world is to gain right to fight Brock Lesnar. There's no reason why Paul Heyman is mentioning Finn Balor in a promo building up his match with AJ Styles leading into Survivor Series if there's nothing coming of it. Obviously, Balor was name dropped there by Paul Heyman for a specific reason. For Balor, his match looks to be scrapped due to McMahon reportedly not feeling that he is over enough. Glaring signs of this have occurred over the past few weeks, especially from Kane dominating him 2 weeks in a row on Raw. Attacking him on Raw, Samoa Joe choking him out. WWE has now posted a poll on the site for fans who want to see Lesnar's next opponent. Interestingly enough, Balor is an overwhelming favorite. Like I showed you, with 41% of the votes. So if you guys really give a shit about Balor versus Lesnar, I suggest you go to WWE.com and make your voice heard on the resounding 41% of Finn Balor and only 8% on Roman Reigns. Yeah, but he's over. Yeah, but people want to see that match at WrestleMania. Give me a fucking break. Nobody wants to see Reigns versus Lesnar. And if you are one of those people, you are in the severe minority. Speaking of AJ Styles, AJ Styles' contract with the WWE apparently expires in January of 2019. Earlier this week, AJ Styles was interviewed on a Houston radio show to promote Survivor Series and his match with Brock Lesnar. If you guys missed that match, I highly urge you guys to go watch that shit. Excellent match. One of the best of the year for WWE. During the interview, he had some interesting comments where he teased that he had only a few years left of wrestling in him before he wanted to quit completely and spend more time with his family. Work hard now, enjoy it later. In a couple of years, I'll be able to catch every football game, every baseball game, every basketball game, cheerleading, gymnastics, whatever they are in. That's what he said. According to Dave Meltzer in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, AJ's contract expires in early 2019. Meltzer says that Styles has told him in the past that he wants to retire at the age of 42. AJ right now is 40 years old. Meltzer also says that it's very rare for wrestlers to walk away while they're in a prime spot in WWE, outside of injury, of course. It is possible that the WWE could offer him a lighter schedule when his deal expires, so he would have more time with his family. This would be a similar deal to that Randy Orton has right now. We won't know until we get closer to AJ's deal expiring. AJ, I don't think is going to retire at 42. You say one thing now, but it's very difficult to walk away from something that I know he loves so dearly. AJ's 40. He wants to retire at 42. We got all of 2018 with AJ Styles. His contract ends in 2019. Who's to say that WWE doesn't offer him more money? And deservedly so. I mean, AJ's proved to be the most valuable commodity in WWE currently. If he does not receive a raise for what he's done for this company since he's come in, that is an absolute fucking slap in the face. So AJ is not only going to receive more money for the job that he's done, he is, and if he doesn't, he certainly has grounds to request a raise. B, WWE loves AJ Styles. Vince loves AJ Styles. Everybody loves AJ Styles. AJ's done right by the company. He's willingly gone out of his way to put the company first in every situation that they called upon him for. So the least that they could do is give him a lighter schedule so that he can spend more time with his family while doing what he loves and utilizing his services at the same time. And who's to say? This is just a shot in the dark. I don't know if it'll happen or not, if not ever. But what if Daniel Bryan comes back? What if Kenny Omega walks into the WWE? AJ Styles is going to retire at 42 years old, knowing that Kenny Omega is going to start in the WWE at the time he's retiring. Of course he wants Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega wants AJ Styles at WrestleMania. He's made that well known in several interviews. You don't think AJ Styles would want to reciprocate that feeling? You don't think AJ wants Kenny Omega just as bad as Kenny Omega wants AJ at WrestleMania? Daniel Bryan's mentioned AJ Styles as one of his dream opponents. The reason Shinsuke Nakamura came over to WWE was to work specifically with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan wanted Nakamura on SmackDown Live because he wanted Nakamura on his brand. Same goes for AJ. AJ will be with the WWE past 42. I don't think I've ever seen AJ as good as he is now. When Paul Heyman says that AJ is this generation's Shawn Michaels, you better damn fucking believe every word that man says. That is the God-honest truth. AJ is the most valuable commodity. Not Reigns, not Lesnar, not Strowman. I'm talking about every day, every week talent. Without AJ Styles, the WWE is a lot bleaker. To have a man go out there and give you 4-star matches every single fucking time, the guy does nothing less. That's a valuable fucking commodity. AJ with the WWE, he'll be with the WWE past 2019. Guarantee it. There's ways to work around that and make him happy. AJ leaving the WWE, man, I think there'd be a lot of fans very, very upset if he walks away. So his deal ends in early 2019, January, I'm assuming, because he came in January. I'm assuming they signed him for another few years after that. Expires in January 2019. Vince McMahon is furious over the creative booking of Nia Jax. Now he's furious over the creative booking of Nia Jax? Nia Jax should have been nurtured ever since she made the main roster. No, but you want to make Nia Jax look weak. Or you don't want to feature Nia Jax at all. Whenever a new report comes to light claiming that Vince McMahon is hiring a WWE star, a lot of people take that as important information because it's coming from Vince McMahon. The WWE Universe is also very quick to defend the WWE superstar that Vince McMahon may not value as much as other people, aka Finn Balor. With that poll, with the amount of social media interaction that he's had on the recent tweets that he's posted this holiday weekend. It's being reported that Vince McMahon has become a huge supporter of Nia Jax. Apparently, he's even gone as far as to refer her as the female Andre the Giant. Told you Vince was delusional. That's extremely high praise from Vince, and Vince has made sure to say it in her presence. That's got to be a damn good feeling, hearing that from Vince McMahon himself. It has been said that Nia is one of the few female superstars willing to go to Vince McMahon directly to discuss creative plans and storylines, which has given her the boss's support. WWE and the WWE Universe has been unhappy with Jax's booking on WWE television. But her dynamic with Vince has rubbed a lot of people backstage the wrong way, especially on the creative team. It's believed that a lot of people backstage feel she's been given special treatment from Vince because of her relationship with The Rock. They feel that he is an ulterior motive to defend Nia Jax to stay in Dwayne Johnson's good graces. I can see that happening because certainly WWE needs Dwayne Johnson more than Dwayne Johnson needs WWE. So when they want him for something, what do you think is going to happen? If Nia Jax is being treated good, The Rock's going to see that family's being treated good, and he's going to come back. He's going to be willing to work with WWE even more so. If he feels that Nia is being mistreated unfairly, if Nia's not being treated good at all, no television time at all, you think Rock is going to want to come back? No. He's got the right to say no. He doesn't have to come back at all. He doesn't need WWE. But I can see why Vince would do that, and I can see why Nia's peers would be upset with that. But that's not her fault. It's not like she's going around throwing The Rock's name around. Yeah, I'm related to The Rock. I'm impervious. That would be wrong of her to do. She's not going to downgrade her colleagues and disrespect her colleagues like that. That's all Vince McMahon. Because that's all Vince McMahon sees. These are toys to Vince McMahon. Nia is just another shiny toy to Vince McMahon. And when they break, then he goes to find a new toy. And he sends that broken toy to the repair shop to get fixed. But Vince always has money on his mind. If Nia is a direct bridge to Dwayne Johnson, of course Vince McMahon is going to make sure Nia is at the forefront and treat Nia right. So that's why he's pissed. Many people will argue that whatever favor Nia Jax has earned with Vince McMahon behind the curtain, it hasn't given her a significant push on WWE television. In fact, the WWE Universe has been defending her and scolding her booking as well. I've been doing that since day one. Since day one. There's nothing for Nia on Monday Night Raw. Nothing. Monday Night Raw is becoming NXT now as far as what they're doing with the women's division. NXT was all about Asuka for 2 years. You better get used to it. The women's division on Monday Night Raw is going to be all about Asuka. When she wins that title, it's all about Asuka. Even the build up to when she wins the title, it's going to be all about Asuka. No other female on that roster will see championship gold unless they are away from Raw. So maybe, like I said, a move to SmackDown Live would be beneficial for Nia Jax. Same thing for Sasha. But right now, whether you want to see it or not, whether you want to use the excuse of they're burying the entire women's roster for the sake of pushing Asuka, it's the right decision because you know what? I would do the same thing. No other woman on that roster's got a undefeated streak of 700 fucking days. None of those other women had a title reign of over 520 days. Nobody. So of course she's going to receive special treatment. These women are in the wrong place at the wrong time right now. Tough shit. It's the way the business works. With both the fans and Vince McMahon supporting her, it's only a matter of time before Nia Jax is given a chance to be a women's champion and a top female star in the company. There have been rumors about Nia Jax turning babyface at some point for a huge feud with Alexa Bliss. We thought that was happening. That clearly didn't happen. She attacked Alexa Bliss 1 week on Monday Night Raw, was in her locker room defending her the next week against Mickie James. There's no storyline continuation with Nia Jax. She's been put in situations where things just don't make sense, or she hasn't been featured on television at all. The chances are good that WWE officials are just waiting for the right time to pull the trigger on a babyface turn. Many people have been rubbed the wrong way after Vince was granted a leave of absence. She may not be the favorite of some people and fans, but Vince McMahon sees something in Nia Jax which is more than enough for her WWE tenure. Nia's in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's nothing for her on Monday Night Raw. There will be nothing for her on Monday Night Raw. They can still book her strong. They have booked her strong. She hasn't really taken a pinfall at all. She was counted out at the Survivor Series. They are booking her strong, but not as strong as she should be booked. But I don't even think it mattered. Anyway, she was green as fuck. She really wasn't anything to behold in a WWE ring. Has she gotten better? Yes. As everybody should get better. She will continue to get better. I hope. But she's in the wrong place at the wrong time right now. She will not be as successful as people want her to be on the same brand as Asuka. It's all about Asuka. Asuka needs to remain undefeated. WWE cannot, and I urge, cannot overlook that fact. Nia is best on SmackDown Live. I say it once, I'll say it again. A move to SmackDown Live would be beneficial for Nia Jax. Triple H and Kurt Angle apparently worked injured during the Survivor Series. I did not know that. I seen Kurt Angle's leg wrapped, but Triple H was also injured as well. Survivor Series, from start to finish, was action-packed. And although some of the fans in agreement here said that the main event really didn't deliver, I gotta agree with you guys. It didn't really deliver. Last year's was much better than this year's. As it turns out, the main event could have been much worse because both Triple H and Kurt Angle worked injured. Meltzer reported that Angle's leg was heavily taped up and his knee was not in good shape. It's pretty obvious to anyone watching that his knee was buckling and he was not even standing up straight. He was hunched over. Meltzer said that he had really no business being in the ring. Triple H has been suffering from injury as well. After all, Triple H just came off working a handful of European dates after not working for quite some time. Therefore, he was also banged up, which is why he did very little in the match except for executing a pedigree on Kurt Angle and then interacting with Shane McMahon. So, Triple H and Kurt Angle, I don't see Triple H really doing anything else. I think all that touring for WWE overseas is done. I know Triple H has that match coming up with Jinder Mahal in India. You know, they're claiming that to be the biggest main event in India history. Whatever. You know, Triple H is giving back to the fans. I can't see Triple H losing that match either. Triple H losing in India to Jinder Mahal. I'm assuming Jinder Mahal is going to go in the heel. they canceled one of those dates because tickets weren't selling well. Some draw jinder is in his own country, quote unquote. But I think if Kurt Angle and Triple H is going to be the match for WrestleMania, I think they'll be fine by then. Angle, I don't see working any more dates. I would not put him in the Royal Rumble. Triple H should be fine. He's got one more big date in India in December. And after that, we got 4 months of recuperating time for Triple H to get well and get right for his match with Kurt Angle that I'm assuming is going to happen at WrestleMania 34. Moving on here, man. We got more news on The Undertaker. Apparently, Undertaker's in the news every fucking time. Every week, Undertaker's in the news. Apparently, one of Jerry Lawler's co-hosts on his podcast, Dinner with the King, talked about The Undertaker being backstage at Survivor Series. Jerry Lawler said that Undertaker was backstage at Survivor Series, and I quote, "I think he might have looked too good. I think when you get him, when you hang around, or you show up and you see someone look that good, they in the WWE, they're ready to come back. You know, closer to the time of WrestleMania, and I think I said, I believe we've seen the last of The Undertaker in the ring. Now, I'm going to go back on my word. Just looking at him the other night at Survivor Series, I think there are some more matches left in The Undertaker." So there's a TV and a monitor to watch the show. There were 3 seats, 3 chairs in front of the monitor, and I was sitting in the one on the left-hand side, and in the middle now, to my right, sitting next to me, was Undertaker. And to his right, sitting next to him, was Kane. We were all just sitting here watching the show, talking about old times and stuff, and all of a sudden, the door happened to open. All of a sudden, we saw John Cena. He went past the door and glanced in, and then he was just there. He went past everybody. Suddenly, we saw him backing up. He just backed up enough, and he looked in at all 3 of us sitting there. He said, "That's pretty cool," and he just walked on. So Jerry Lawler was backstage at Survivor Series, sitting next to Kane and The Undertaker, stating that The Undertaker was looking too good in shape. But The Undertaker tends to look good. That doesn't mean that The Undertaker is mobile. That doesn't mean The Undertaker is able to walk correctly. Because watching him at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns, I don't know what that was. That wasn't The Undertaker. And unless this guy had both of his hips replaced like he said that he would, he said that when he would have his hips replaced, he would not come back. That's what was reported. So unless the guy has had hip replacement already, I don't want to see him back. Because there's going to be more of the same that we've seen this year against Reigns. I don't want to see The Undertaker back. Not only for the sake of The Undertaker's performance, but the fact that they gave this guy such a big send-off that it is a retirement. The only thing we have to gauge this on, and The Undertaker coming back, is Raw 25. The fact that Monday Night Raw is having its 25th anniversary and that The Undertaker will be there at the Manhattan Center. We'll see what happens. You're not going to invite a character like The Undertaker to come out and celebrate anything. The Undertaker doesn't celebrate shit. Not on camera, anyway. But if you're going to have The Undertaker appear on live television, something says that we might not have seen the last of The Undertaker. So we'll see what happens with that. That's all we have to go on right now. Jerry the King Lawler saying The Undertaker looked great means nothing. Can The Undertaker walk is my question. My answer is that it's probably no. Fox, Channel 5 here in New York, are amongst the networks that have had talks with WWE. WWE's USA TV deal expires next year. Thank fucking Christ. Thank God. The Sports Business Journal has a story up about UFC and their TV negotiations, which could net them $450 million per year. Their current deal that airs across Fox, Fox Sports 1, and Fox Sports 2 ends next year and could have an impact on where WWE lands. If UFC leaves Fox, then it could open the door for WWE to leave the USA Network. WWE's current deal for Raw and SmackDown Live on the USA Network expires in the fall of 2023. 2018, according to this report. Now, I heard differently. I heard it was 2019. So this report might be false, but it's in the news. I heard, as of just a couple of months ago, that WWE's deal expires in 2019. If it's 2018, my God, it can't come soon enough. The story notes that there is an exclusive negotiating time frame with NBC Universal that expires in February. So WWE can negotiate with other networks until that time, but they have had talks with Fox executives over the summer. WWE CFO, Chief Financial Officer George Barrios, and Triple H, Paul Levesque, were among the executives that met with Fox. The story noted that the meeting was part of a WWE roadshow where they spoke with various networks, including CBS and Disney, and digital companies like Amazon and YouTube. Digital streaming companies are going to shell out big money for exclusive programming as more people decide to cut the cord from cable television. One thing that I need to do is cut the cord from cable television. Man, I'm paying for internet and cable. I'm paying Verizon $140 a month. I don't know why. I'm waiting for that to expire. Otherwise, I got to pay a $300 termination fee. I'm not going back to cable television anymore. I barely watch television. I watch it for Raw. I like my Family Guy. I like my Seinfeld. I like my Ghost Adventures. I like my Food Network. Maybe a random movie here and there on Showtime or HBO. Other than that, I'm cutting myself from cable television as well. The amount of money I could be saving myself. One thing that was not noted in this story, but reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, is that Ari Emanuel, who owns UFC, is also WWE's representative for these TV talks. That might seem like a conflict of interest, but UFC expects to nail down the deal points of their TV deal by the end of December, and Emanuel would have more knowledge going into February for the start of WWE's TV negotiations, and the contracts would give him the advantage over someone else handling negotiations. So that is the news on that. I would love if WWE is off USA Network, because I feel USA Network, they're giving orders to WWE to make SmackDown Live. There was rumors that USA wanted the brand split, so Vince McMahon had to do the brand split. Obviously, USA is the ones in charge of WWE Raw happening on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. USA wants that third hour of Raw for extra ad revenue, right? That goes back and forth with WWE. They're making more money off that third hour. USA, to me, I don't want them to be a part of the WWE universe anymore. If WWE can get more money from somewhere else and then go back to 2 hours, that would be beneficial to everybody. It would keep our sanity, so we don't have to sit through a 3-hour Monday Night Raw every week. It would actually make the show better. Excuse me. It would make the show better. You know Raw would be better at 2 hours than 3 hours. It would cut out all the fucking unnecessary bullshit. And WWE can make more money off TV rights as well. More so than they're making with USA. I'm thinking in just what I want to see as a fan. Obviously, WWE's going to do what's best for them as far as business. But 2 hours of Raw, you all know we want 2 hours of Raw instead of the 3 hours. I don't give a shit what anybody says. The 2 hours would make the show more bearable, and it would actually increase the ratings of Raw and make the overall quality of the show better. Because you know that third hour is absolute garbage. It's a detriment to the ratings overall. Many people don't stick with 3 hours like we do. I think WWE needs to remove themselves from USA Network. That's just my honest opinion. WWE talent is worried about more releases coming. They're worried about more releases. Between the Performance Center, NXT, UK, and the main roster, WWE may have the most wrestlers under contract than any other time in their history. That would include the boom period in the 1980s when they were running 2 to 3 shows per night, and the Attitude Era where business was loaded with top names. On one hand, it's great to see so many wrestlers earning full-time money, but at some point, WWE will need to release some of them as they continue to move people up from the Performance Center. There have been a few people released this year, but nothing like the spring cleaning of previous years. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and I reported this on this weekend's show already. He is reporting that a lot of the marginal talent is nervous about their spots because there have been so many additions to the main roster. Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose. You got Liv Morgan. You got Sarah Logan, Ruby Riott. The addition of the women could be related to a new weekly show that could launch as soon as January. We reported about that. WWE is in negotiations with Facebook Live to do a possible themed show consisting of mixed tag team matches. Garbage. Nobody wants to see that. If it has nothing to do with the weekly television program that we're watching, I don't care. I don't want extra content. There's enough wrestling for me to get through the week. I don't need more. That means nothing. So that was the news as of this weekend as well. WWE in negotiations for a new TV show on Facebook Live. That could launch as soon as January. Could also be related to the rumors about the Women's Royal Rumble. Or, I made mention, if not the Women's Royal Rumble, WWE could be set up Women's Tag Team Championships. Neither of which I have any interest in. The Tag Team Championships, you got to do the right way. Because there are 20 women now split between Raw and SmackDown. It could work. But not if you're going to do 2 sets of Tag Team Championships. 1 set split between both shows. The Women's Royal Rumble, I've talked about this on end already. No. You don't want to water down the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is specifically used to main event WrestleMania. There are other means to get the women's match done at WrestleMania. They do not need a Royal Rumble. Adding another Women's Royal Rumble will take up another 45 minutes of your time and make the show even longer than it is already. Taking away from the undercard of the Royal Rumble. You don't want to mess with the prestige of the Royal Rumble. WWE has made it feel unimportant in recent years anyway. You don't want to add to that by adding a Women's Royal Rumble. And women in a battle royal scenario doesn't interest me anyway. At all. So, talent is worried that more releases are on the way. I could see more releases. We don't know when. And if I do, obviously I'll report it for you guys right here on the podcast. We have news on Batista. Batista wants to return to the WWE. I enjoyed heel Batista, movie star Batista. Remember when Batista made his last run in WWE and then just walked out? Even before that, when he went on to Hollywood. When he first wanted to get his feet wet in Hollywood. I remember him sitting in a wheelchair on Monday Night Raw and then he just said, I quit. That run for Batista didn't go on long enough, man. I wanted to see more of that Batista. Then Batista comes back and he wins the Royal Rumble. Everybody was hoping for Daniel Bryan. Rey Mysterio comes out, right? And people expected him to be number 30. Mysterio comes out, he gets booed out of the fucking building because he's not Daniel Bryan. Batista was shoved down our throats because he was a returning legend, quote unquote. Vince McMahon had ideas of Batista versus Randy Orton for that year's WrestleMania main event. Yeah, my God. If it wasn't for us, that would have been your main event for WrestleMania. Dave Batista came back for a World Championship title run. Dave Batista ultimately came back to put over Daniel Bryan and be a catalyst in getting Bryan over, getting the entire Yes movement over. I loved Evolution versus The Shield. I thought that was great. You want a legit threat to The Shield? Evolution is all that plus some. Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista? That's fucking great. I wish it would have had more time to breathe. I wish it would have had more time to develop and really be made into something epic, but Batista walked out soon after that. He didn't like the current state of WWE. He didn't like the direction the company was going. Batista had officially committed to the movie scene after that, and he's done incredibly well for himself. James Bond, Guardians of the Galaxy. He left the company in 2010, committing himself to brief endeavors, including acting, mixed martial arts. Batista would return to the company in 2014 after a nearly 4-year absence. Won the Royal Rumble. Like I said, heavily criticized. Evolution with Randy Orton and Triple H against The Shield. The run only lasted 5 months, and creative differences caused another departure. Batista was recently on the Ross Report to discuss his relationship with WWE. This is what he had to say, and I quote, "One-off discussions has been the issue with me because I've never burned the bridge. And it really is because I still love wrestling and everybody in the WWE has always been really good to me. I've had my gripes with the company, which I'm sure everybody does. But at the same time, I don't ever disrespect the company intentionally. I don't really have a reason to. But also because I didn't leave under bad circumstances. I just left because I wanted to pursue other projects. I didn't walk out on them. I let my contract run out. They knew I would be leaving. So I did business the right way, and I'm really thankful that I did." Batista also answered whether he would be interested in returning to the WWE, and this is what Dave Batista had to say. "Yes, I would love to go back. But the reason why I haven't gone back is because I don't want to do a one-off. I want to go back and I want to wrestle, man. I want to do some house shows, and I want to be a part of the program. I love it. You know, the one-off thing, the cheap pop, it doesn't do anything for me. So now, it's a matter of schedule. And if I could go back, if I happen to get injured, that would be the only thing that affected me. But I would love to go back." He added that it took him a 3-month period to get the reaction that he wanted during his last run. And a cheap pop turns him off. He admitted that he has talked to Vince McMahon recently to discuss a return and reiterated that he would love to come back and have a feud with Triple H. I'd love to have Batista back. I don't have a problem with Batista coming back. Yes, it does add to the whole world of part-timers and bigger names coming back, taking spots away from the younger guys. But if Batista is willing, so this is the thing. He's not coming back for a cheap pop. He's not coming back for a big payday. He's not coming back for a big one-match deal. Batista says he wants to do the house shows. He wants to do the live television tapings. He wants to be in important storylines. If he feels justified at the end of a storyline and he's happy, I don't think Dave Batista minds putting anybody over. I think a heel Batista is what we need to see. If Batista comes back, I want to see that Hollywood prick Batista come back. I think Batista has a lot left to give WWE if he wants to come back. I think it would be great to see him back. But would WWE be up to giving this man what he wants? He left for creative differences. Who's to say that there won't be more creative differences? You know, with this fucking company, creative isn't their strong suit. But Batista coming back and doing the entire WWE tour like a Jericho does when he comes back, that's not only respectable, but I commend him for wanting to come back because he loves the business. Batista is making a name for himself in Hollywood. He probably doesn't even need WWE anymore. But the simple fact that he wants to come back because he loves the business and he loves the WWE, you got to respect that, man. And yeah, I've always wondered, one of the biggest what-ifs with me was what happened with Batista in his last run. What if things were done differently? What if we got to see Batista come back as a heel instead of them portraying him as a babyface when he came back? That's what should have been done. WWE tried to put Batista in a role that he didn't want to be in. He wanted to be a heel. Batista operates better as a heel, but they wanted to push him as a babyface against a heel Randy Orton. Then the whole BS movement happened, and WWE had to revert plans. I don't say that's a bad creative decision. That needed to happen. But Batista walked into something because of WWE's negligence. That's their fault. Batista's shitty run in 2014 was all of WWE's fault. Because they didn't do right by Daniel Bryan to start the entire thing. And Batista suffered and walked right into it. The one thing I will say about that Royal Rumble, wasn't Roman Reigns and Batista the last two in that Royal Rumble? Batista got booed when it was just Reigns and himself in that Royal Rumble. Reigns in that Rumble, for the first time, the only time I can remember in this entire run of Roman Reigns, that was the only time I can think back to when Roman Reigns got legit fucking fanfare. Nobody wanted Batista to win because the fans knew. The fans knew who was going to win the Royal Rumble, so they cried and wanted Reigns to win it, just so that we would see somebody that's not predictable, somebody that's not a returning mega movie star, but also the Daniel Bryan factor that he was supposed to come out at number 30, or everybody wanted him to come out at number 30, but he didn't. That was the only time I can remember Roman Reigns getting actual fucking legit fan reaction. Unbelievable. But that's all I got, guys. That is all I got here on Off the Script for part number 3. Thank you guys so very much for your continued support of this podcast, of this channel. If you guys want to show some support, remember, the t-shirts, barbershopwindow.com/offthescript, code Black Friday. Benched, available. The new bench t-shirt. Jinder Mahal, the new t-shirt. You guys know you want it. You guys know you love it. Because he is
the make-believe Maharaja.
You guys know it, man. You guys know it. barbershopwindow.com/offthescript, code Black Friday at checkout. Any one of those 2 designs or these original 10 designs available for you guys up until Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do not wait. You will not get another chance at 30% off on barbershopwindow.com. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. And make sure you guys, if you want to be a part of the Patreon family, as little as $1 a month, that's $12 a year. If you guys want to support me via Patreon, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Thank you guys so very much, man, for everything that you do. Let's get into the final segment of Off the Script this weekend. Social media segment right here on Off the Script. Let's see here, man. Anthony Rodriguez. He asks, JD, do you think AJ Styles should be pushed as the face of the company instead of Roman Reigns? Anthony, yes and no. I would want AJ to be pushed as the face of the company because he is the best wrestler that they have. He's the biggest, he's the best talent that they have, bar none. There's nobody better than AJ. But from a business standpoint, why isn't he? It's because AJ is 40 years old. Now, to me, age means nothing. To me, AJ has many more years left in him. If he can stay healthy and he can still work the way that he does now, yes, I could see AJ being the face of the company. Roman is going to be the one that they choose over AJ because, A, he's their chosen one. They put so many resources and sacrifice so much and bury the entire roster for Roman Reigns. They've neglected their roster for Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is the guy. Business-wise, Roman Reigns is the guy. He's got the looks. He's got the size. He's WWE's resident pretty boy. He's got everything that WWE wants as a top guy. So, AJ, yes and no. Yes, because of his in-ring work and the guy that he can be for the company. But no, because of his age. I'm just speaking in terms of WWE. In fact, I don't think Roman is the guy either. I don't think the guy even resides in WWE. The only other guy that I thought could have been the guy in WWE to replace John Cena is Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was well on his way, whether you like him or not, or whether you want to admit that or not. Yes, he was. Daniel Bryan was the next in line to take John Cena's throne. I don't think that guy resides in WWE right now. I don't think so. It could be Drew McIntyre. Could be. Could be Kenny Omega. I don't know. We got to see what happens when those guys make it to Raw or SmackDown. Simple as that. Tanmay Misra. Who do you think should win the Royal Rumble? Shinsuke Nakamura, They've done such an injustice to Nakamura. Winning the Royal Rumble would pretty much erase all that and start a clean slate. Plus, Nakamura wins the Rumble. We get AJ versus Naka at WrestleMania. And then Roman Reigns can win the Elimination Chamber. And then he can go on to fight Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. Tim Flaherty, would you rather see Batista return and face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34? If not, then who would you have Brock face at WrestleMania? I honestly don't know, man. Both of Brock's matches with Joe and Strowman were the only other WrestleMania matches I could see for Brock Lesnar. If I had to book Brock at WrestleMania, I honestly don't even have an answer for you. Maybe a returning Batista would be the case, but it's not happening this year. It's not happening this year at all. I don't think Brock has any more legit competition in WWE after this whole experiment with Roman Reigns. Batista may be the only one. So, I'd like to see Rollins and Brock again. I think that would be very good to see. You know, we really didn't get Rollins and Brock one-on-one. I know back in the day, we had that great triple threat match with Rollins and Cena and Lesnar at Rumble 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Highly underrated match. Nobody talks about that. One of Brock's best since being back in the WWE. But Rollins was supposed to fight Lesnar one-on-one, I think at Battleground, if not that year. And then The Undertaker interfered. So, to see Rollins and Lesnar again, I think I'd be interested in that, man. But I don't think that's going to happen. I wouldn't mind seeing Batista either, but as far as what Brock would do outside of Roman Reigns, I really don't have an answer for you, man. I would probably say Rollins. Or I wouldn't mind seeing AJ Styles in a rematch. To be perfectly honest with you, I would not mind seeing AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar again in a rematch. Big B Wolf. Would you rather see AJ Styles versus Johnny Gargano or AJ Styles versus Aleister Black? Why not both? I think Johnny Gargano would bring AJ Styles to a great match. Let me rephrase that. AJ Styles would bring Johnny Gargano to a great match. I think they would complement each other well. But out of the two, if I was to choose one, I would want to see AJ Styles versus Aleister Black. I think that would be phenomenal. And I could easily see that being a WWE Championship feud down the line. So my answer for that one is Aleister Black. Let me see. Ty Brown. How can Bray Wyatt resurrect himself from his inescapable hole that he's in? Repackaged, turn face, get released. Just want to know your creative thoughts. Out of all those, I honestly think, if you guys can think back, there was a random edition of Monday Night Raw. I don't know who they went up against. I know Bray Wyatt teamed with Roman Reigns on a Monday Night Raw main event a few years ago. Bray Wyatt, whether that was an experiment or not, passed with flying colors. He was a babyface. He was receiving babyface reaction. The fans were eating out of the palm of Bray's hands. I think Bray needs to come back and turn babyface. That's what I think needs to happen. If you're talking about within WWE, no, he doesn't need to be repackaged. He just needs to be booked to win. How are you going to have a guy talk that much shit and talk in rhymes and rhythms and have all this folklore around him and he's going to lose? It makes no sense. I would turn him babyface. Bray Wyatt released? They'd be fools to let Bray Wyatt release. Or release Bray Wyatt. Now, you can't stop him from walking out if his contract's done to seek employment elsewhere and to seek better opportunity elsewhere. But out of those things, I would like to see Bray Wyatt turn face. I'd like to see what they do with him as a babyface instead of a heel. That's what I would do. He doesn't need to be repackaged. He just needs to be booked to win. He needs to be booked legit. He needs to come off and sound like a winner. And then he needs to take those words and transcribe that into a W instead of an L. Nobody's going to take him seriously with what he says when he goes out there and speaks and sounds all scary and then loses. It's not the way you build a character. It's not the way you build a successful Bray Wyatt. Who do we got here, man? Let me see what we got here. We got Swaggy Flea on Twitter. JD, what motivated you to start YouTube? I told this story several times. I was actually fired from my retail job. I was working at Tourneau in Manhattan, right on Madison Avenue, right off Wall Street. I got fired because they reduced commission and pay. I got fired because I was very outspoken, very CM Punk-like. Black Friday, they fired me that year. I remember sitting at home unemployed all the way up for 10 months. I buried my fucking head after looking for jobs every fucking day, man. I remember applying every fucking day. Living off unemployment, man. I buried my head in Skyrim. I beat Skyrim for the PS3. I just dwelled on Modern Warfare 3. I had nothing, man. I was so depressed I was in my own hole. And then all of a sudden, during that time, I bought a cheap microphone, a cheap camera. I sounded like shit. I started to put WWE news over Call of Duty gameplay. Then one of my friends told me, dude, you should just separate the two. You know, appear on camera and do WWE like with a talk show. And then if you want to do the Call of Duty stuff, talk about Call of Duty over Call of Duty gameplay. Don't mix the two. So that's what started me, you know. I used to listen to the Call of Duty commentators back in the day. So that's what got me started with the Call of Duty, you know, commentaries and stuff. Thunder and, you know, all guys like that. El Presidor. And then, obviously, I always loved WWE, and I felt like I could have a voice talking about WWE because I was passionate about it. So I just fused the two, and then I just kind of branched off and stopped doing the Call of Duty stuff. And I'm mainly concentrating on WWE stuff right now, and here I am. I took a chance on myself. And again, I took a chance on myself this year and quit my job retail-wise, where I can support myself just doing this. So that's my story there. Very, very brief synopsis of it. I think there's an old video talking about all that. But that's pretty much the whole reasoning behind that. Why I started YouTube, man. I got fired after 4 years with my company because I was very outspoken about the way that they were treating their employees. And on Black Friday, I got fired. That year, I got fired on Black Friday. JD, who would you have brought up to the main roster after Survivor Series? This is Master360 Master on Twitter. I would have brought up the Authors of Pain because we need tag teams. And I would have brought up Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. I don't see where Liv Morgan or Sarah Logan or Ruby Riott come into play. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. Seems like it was just a spur-of-the-moment decision. But I would have made call-ups that actually would have benefited both divisions because both of those divisions are hurting. I would have maybe called up a Liv Morgan. I would have maybe called up a Ruby Riott. But to put them in factions and put them on separating shows and have this invasion-type mentality to them when the pairings are illogical and don't make sense, we need tag teams on Monday Night Raw too. I would have brought up the Authors of Pain. Everybody else I don't see being brought up just yet. I also read today, before I actually recorded this show, I read that Almas, we knew Almas was going to win the title. He was scheduled to win the title anyway, whether McIntyre was hurt or not. If McIntyre didn't get hurt, it would have built towards a rematch in Philadelphia. If McIntyre was not going to get another title shot and McIntyre was not injured, I would have put McIntyre on SmackDown. That's what I would have did. But those are the names that I would have brought up from the main roster. Nick Johnson at Warrior Eyes. Granted, you despise Jinder. How would you have booked him for a mid-card title run? U.S. title. It's been done on nauseam. It's been done with everybody. The evil foreigner capturing the U.S. title. And I would have done that. Even though it's been done to hell. I would have had Jinder become the U.S. champion and then be beat. Put that title over with the character that he had because it made no sense for the WWE championship. I would have had him put that title over with his character and then have a conquering hero. Maybe not John Cena, come in and take the title and bring it back to American soil. That's what I would have done for Jinder Mahal and his run. Not as WWE champion, but as U.S. champion. Chris from Fordham, at Chris_WFB. Do you see Bobby Roode getting a huge push in 2018, winning the U.S. title, Money in the Bank, winning the WWE Championship in 2018 in that order? Absolutely. Absolutely. But Bobby Roode needs to do that as a heel. I don't want to see this shaking kids' hands and helping grandma with her bags, leaving the grocery store Bobby Roode. No, I need to see vindictive Bobby Roode. I need to see manipulative Bobby Roode. I need to see Bobby Roode who's coming out wearing $4,000 suits and $4,000 snakeskin shoes with no socks, talking about how this is his SmackDown Live. That's what I need to see. This glorious baby face that we got with Bobby Roode, not working for me, bro. He's lost his appeal. I don't want to be saying that, but it's true. If he's going to do all that, he needs to be a heel while doing it, for sure. Psycho Mike at Copyright 2009. JD, what are your favorite TV shows or cartoons growing up? Non-wrestling. Growing up, I was a big Transformers guy. I loved Power Rangers. I loved DuckTales. I loved Darkwing Duck. I loved Saved by the Bell. Boy Meets World. Family Matters. I loved Fresh Prince. I love Seinfeld. I'm just now getting into Big Bang Theory. I know 9 seasons in, and JD is just now starting to really enjoy Big Bang Theory. You know, I love Family Guy. Shit like that, man. I love Ghost Adventures. But those are my favorite TV shows growing up, you know. I also like Food Network. I like watching Guy Fieri at night with Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I love Anthony Bourdain. I love his shows and his vlogs on Travel Channel or Food Network or wherever they are. You know, Layover with Bobby, Bobby Flay I'm thinking of, but Anthony Bourdain. I love watching Bobby Flay grilling with Bobby Flay. Shit like that, man. I'm weird. We'll do a couple more, man. Joseph Fisher, 95 on Twitter. Has WWE failed to create new stars? Simply, yes. Yes. Macho King Smith, who in NXT do you think has the brightest future in NXT? Velveteen Dream, Aleister Black. And then, I'm not saying that he is going to, but I have hope for Lio Rush. He's not in WWE yet, but Ricochet, Adam Cole, I see Red Dragon going far. Lots of promising talent in NXT, man. Lots of promising talent in NXT. We're going to do one more here, man. We're going to do one from my buddy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, bro. Alik Anawai. He actually DM'd me, and he wants to know about the WWE title belts that they have in WWE. He says, if WWE wants to give back to us loyal old school fans, while at the same time going full on with tier-specific title consistency, then they should do the following. Winged Eagle on a red strap, Universal title. Blue strap for the WWE title. Classic WWF Tag Team titles. Gold plates on the red strap for Raw. Silver plates on the blue straps for SmackDown Live. IC title on the blue strap on SmackDown. And silver plated US title on a red strap for Raw. Using IC title basic casts for all 5 plates. What are your thoughts? I hate the WWE Championship titles now. I think they're terrible. I don't mind the WWE title too much, but the Universal title looks hideous. I've always thought it looked hideous ever since its inception. There were mock titles of a Universal title that looked better before they actually decided on that design. Some of the titles that you see in the Creation Suite in WWE 2K18 are better than what we see on television. More titles should be modeled after the UK title. I think the UK title is the prettiest title in WWE. I don't like those tag team titles. I was actually watching some old school shit with my brother. And we were watching some new school shit. You know, I was over on my mom's house during one recent episode of SmackDown Live, and the Usos came out. And I'm like, look at the fucking disgusting tag team titles these guys are carrying around. And then we think back to when we were watching, and we seen Legion of Doom, and we seen Money Inc., you know, the Hart Foundation, Demolition, carry around those tag team championships. You seen Bret Hart and Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels and Mr. Perfect carry around the Intercontinental Championship. Growing up, when you watch those guys, you dreamed of holding those titles. You dreamed of touching those titles. When Hogan had the Eagle belt, the belt that I got back there that you really can't really see because it's covered by Funko Pop and Toad and fucking, you know. That is the best designed WWE Championship that they've ever had. I wish they would have fused the Universal Championship and made it a mock of an old school design with some new school features. Even the United States Championship, it looks like shit. It looks like someone decided to put a plate on leather and have a fucking 4-year-old color it in. It's disgusting. It doesn't look prestigious at all. It looks like WWE doesn't care about the title. They brought back the old school Intercontinental Championship. Cody Rhodes brought that back when he was still with the company. It's been a mainstay ever since. But I heard rumors that WWE wants to change that, and they want to change the United States Championship to make it a little bit more modern because they look too old school. I think the WWE Championships right now in WWE are nothing but props. They are disgusting. I wish, if I was in charge, I would have them take on a look of old school, but keep that modern look as well. I want titles to look like something that you, yourself, as a fan, would fucking love and desire to have. Never mind fucking fight for it like these guys, but desire to have a championship title. You know, what are these guys fighting for? Looks like they're fighting over fucking silver nickels and silver pennies on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown when it comes to the tag team title. Like, the Universal title looks like a fucking big, long fruit roll-up. Fruit by the foot. The fuck is that shit? When you see two guys in competitive competition fighting over these titles, it's like they don't even look important. Because WWE doesn't value their titles anymore. They're nothing but props. They're nothing but props. So if WWE doesn't care, why are we going to care? I get what he's saying, but I don't see why WWE would even change anything from what they're doing now. And I think I heard somewhere that, I don't know what podcast I heard it on, but the reason why WWE changed all their titles was because of copyright. They were not using their old belt designer anymore. They're using somebody else. They're using a completely new designer for their belts, and they couldn't use the old titles anymore because they weren't given the rights to those designs. So they're using somebody else now, and they're just awful. They're just terrible. So yes, I would have a take on the old school style, but keep the modern design. Yes, but WWE titles and championship titles now, they look disgusting. They don't look important. And if I'm owning a wrestling company, I want my titles to look the part, especially featured in a high profile match. That's just me though. That is your social media segment. Thank you guys so very much for everything, man. Please follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. More social media comments next weekend on episode 198. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so very much. I'm JD. Make sure to hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow for more content. I might have an extra Monday Night Raw tomorrow. We'll talk about that. New week, new content, more podcasts, more videos, more JD. Thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for a brand new week of WWE content, man. Thank you guys so much. Make it a great Sunday, and I'll talk to you guys later.